And here is how life works. Power of the people. Power of the people. This is what happened on this interview. One of my friends on Twitter said, you need to get this young lady on your podcast. And I said, you got it, because I trust you guys. I trust you guys. You guys know comedy. You've never steered me wrong. This did not steer me wrong for sure. Then I checked her out. She's a New York comic. Very funny. I reached out, and she was totally sweet about it. She said, I'd love to do the podcast. And we had a very fun interview. She gave me a question that I think I will use for the rest of I'm going to use it only with the savages, because some people aren't built for this question. And you're probably wondering what question it is. You'll find out soon. Here's my phone call with the very funny Chrissie Mayr. And here we go.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Freezing. It's snowing here. Snowing here in Denver. How is it?
Wow.
How is it in New York?
It's a balmy, almost summer-like day. I was just outside, and it's like 66 degrees right now.
Ugh,
and it's not really jacket weather.
I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous. I'm freezing. I don't want to leave my house, and I probably won't. No, I probably should, but we'll see. All right, I got a couple quick questions for her. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Who is the person you've met in life that made you the most nervous?
Nervous?
Yeah.
Nervous. Actually, I was meeting with a potential manager like a couple days ago, and it did make me feel nervous because in some of my earlier conversations with him, he's like, "Oh yeah, we can meet up. We can go to a strip club," and I was like, "Yeah, no, I don't like have business meetings at strip clubs." God, should I drop his name? I mean, yeah. I don't know. If I end up working with him.
But it sounds like a shady start. That's not the manager I'd be looking for.
It was a little shady, and I was like, yeah, you have a wife, I have a boyfriend, and even if I didn't, like, that's not the impression you want to be giving off. Like, aren't we supposed to be working with each other? I was like, he was like, I'll buy you a lap dance. And I was like, yeah, no. And then I didn't call him I was just like, I kind of wrote him off for like a few weeks, and then he called me, like, oh, I'm really interested. So I don't know. Yeah. Who knows? I might end up working with the creep, but
well, if he can make you money, then it's good. But
yeah,
it's a weird.
I know if I can overlook that.
Yeah, but what a shitty start. That's
I know, it was weird.
Well, yeah, that would make me nervous and make me doubt. Make me doubt him a little. All right, how about what moment in life were you the most scared?
Scared?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I think, well, my mom died last summer. She was dealing with brain cancer for like almost 3 years. And I thought I was going to say the moment, like the day she died, but it was actually just like watching her kind of go down. That was kind of scary because I was like, oh, wow, there was like nothing I could do at that point. It was like, oh, it was just like sad and surreal.
That sucks. I'm sorry. That's awful.
Sorry to bring it down.
No, it's all right. It's okay. How about what is the most money or coolest thing you've ever won?
Ooh, most money or coolest thing I've won. Wow. Okay. I think I was at a roulette wheel a few years ago while I was working for a hedge fund. It was like one of our parties. It was like it was obviously like pre-economic collapse, and I think I won $100 on a roulette wheel, and then I just like went back up to my hotel room and called it a night. I didn't like keep going.
What?
Yeah.
Did you play a lucky number, or it was just like red and black? Or?
Yeah, I played like I think it was like red number 11. 11's like my number.
That's the number.
Yeah.
Why is that your lucky number? Any reason?
How did what?
Why is that your lucky number? Is there any reason?
Because my birthday is 11/11.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, super lucky.
All right. Well, speaking of that, what did you do on your 21st birthday?
Ooh, I think I was a senior in college. Yeah, because most people were 22 when they graduated. And I was 21. God, I probably just like blacked out. I went to Fairfield U, and a lot of the seniors had rented houses like right on the Long Island Sound. They were like beach houses, and we did not realize how good we had it because like now I would kill to live on the beach for a year, but at the time I was just like puking off the balcony.
Yeah, that beach life.
Yeah.
I would love that for a year. You don't think about it when you're 21. You just think you can do whatever you want forever. How about this? What's the craziest thing you've ever done to impress a boy?
Oh, when I was dating an ex-boyfriend, he really wanted me to dye my hair brown. I was like a blonde forever. And I really I did. I wanted him to like me more. I wanted to like be his type. And he was like, "You should really dye your hair brown." And so I dyed it like a dark auburn, and then eventually like moved into the red that I currently have today. But it like, I don't know. I didn't feel good being super dark. It didn't feel right.
Did he like it?
I don't know. I think he was ungrateful mostly. You know, he ended up breaking up with me over Skype.
Oh God.
But then it all worked out because then he was hit by a bus while he was driving his bike around DC. So I feel like it's all equal in the world.
Yeah, he got what he deserved, I guess. Well, that's quite a sacrifice to make. He should have appreciated that.
Ah,
What an
well, it
asshole.
was before I was like really in showbiz, so I didn't, it's not like I had all these like new headshots to take.
Yeah, well, still, but
Yeah.
hair's important. Well, all right.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of showbiz, like, what's the first night you had in, or I guess in New York or anywhere where you're just like, holy shit, I can't believe I'm around this person or at this place or.
Oh, like starstruck.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I posted for Stormy Daniels last month, and that was kind of cool. I was like, oh, wow. I'm like 1 degree of separation from Trump right now.
She seems like she's pretty cool.
She's very cool. I think she's misunderstood. And I also I feel for her because I'm sure she just gets like endlessly shit on.
Oh, I can't imagine.
But yeah, she's a sweet girl. She's like definitely an entertaining performer. Like she's not a stand-up comic, but she has stories and she's intriguing and she's likable and she's charming. So yeah, I was just like, oh wow. Like when I was taking a selfie with her, I was like, oh my god.
Well, yeah,
right
her Twitter is
yeah.
If she does her Twitter, it's really funny.
It is really funny. She'll just respond randomly to the most like random shit
to people talking shit. So I give her credit. She can dish it out. So,
yeah, it's good. It's like, oh, I'm here. I read these.
Yeah, she's like, she doesn't run from it, and it makes me laugh. Not many people get to blow the president. It's pretty cool.
Probably a lot. Probably a lot more than we think.
That's true. Well, yeah, this president. Do you collect anything?
I used to collect snow globes, and then I found them to be kind of like cumbersome. I still have a small snow globe collection going, but now I've sort of transitioned to magnets of every place every state or city I've gone or performed stand up in. Which I find is like more manageable. Like the kooky and sort of like trashy looking, the magnet, the better.
Out of all those cities, which place do you hope you never have to go to again?
Never have to go to again? Ooh. Well, I was publicly shamed from my trip to Utica. A couple of years ago, I did this video. It didn't go. I would not even say that it went viral. It just got like maybe 15,000 views or something. I was just there because my boyfriend is a Freemason, and we were there a few years ago because there was like a convention or something or like a meeting. And so I was just like dicking around, and then we were just in town, and he shot this little video of me being like, oh, this is a shitty tour of Utica. Like, it was just the block that we were on. And I was just making fun of, like, the dilapidated buildings and, just, like, pointing to the bartender. I'm like, she's also a stripper. Like, just talking out of my ass. Like, not even a well-written sketch. It was just, like, improv. And then we put it online, and, like, a local Utica radio station picked it up, like, 6 weeks later. And then there was just 6 weeks of backlash, like all the worst people from Utica, like just saying all the worst things about me.
Yeah.
And people threatening me, like, if you ever come back here, we're gonna get you. And that was like a couple of years ago.
And you've never gone back?
No, I have not gone back. I would only go back if I was maybe like paid to do a gig there.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a good vacation spot,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
What's the worst date you've ever been on?
Ooh, God, there's been so many. I was stood up once. I don't even know if that counts as a
Well,
date.
that sucks.
Oh, okay. I think this probably counts. So, like, one time I answered this ad on Craigslist, and it was, I was in a very low place this summer. That particular summer was like maybe 5 years ago. And it was basically a Craigslist ad asking to like trade massages. And I didn't even see a picture of this person. I just was like, I got in a cab at like 1 a.m. I could have been killed like 3 different times. And even the cab driver was like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And I was like, "Yes, just drive me to Bushwick." Like literally dropped me off at a corner. I met this guy. I was like, "Let's go to a bar first." He didn't even want to take me to a bar like that. I think he was like a little bit of ashamed of getting together with me. Meanwhile, I looked at him and I was like, "Oh, you're so gross. Like, you're not even somebody I would consider dating, out in the world." Yet here he is, like, borderline, seemingly, like, ashamed to be around me. And then, like, did we hook up? Yeah, we hooked up a little bit, but I woke up the next morning, felt super dirty. And I was like, I got to clean my act up. Like, that was, like, my rock bottom.
Yeah, that's risky.
Because I realized, I was like, oh, wow, I paid for the cabs, like, both ways, like, for this experience. And it was just, like, icky and just, like, very bad.
You got a good story out of it and survived.
I don't even know if that is
well, I don't know
considered a date.
It was almost could have been your last date. It's scary. To all the
Bad
listeners, don't do that. I don't know if that's
Don't ever do that.
Don't even get on Craigslist. It is very scary.
I know. It did not exist.
Well, luckily you survived that. But when in life, or what is the most physical pain you've ever felt?
Ooh. Well, I haven't broken any bones. Wow. Yeah, okay. I was in gymnastics in, I think, middle school, like 7th or 8th grade or something. And I did a round off. God, like, no, the only people who understand this would be people who have done gymnastics. But I did a round off into like a jump split. And then instead of landing on like both my feet, I just landed on one ankle turned in. Like the ankle just made contact with the mat. I think I just like immediately fell down and like rolled over. And then ever since that, like I had just had a weak ankle. Like I'd be walking down the halls of high school and I would just collapse. Like, and I was like, I gotta switch to a different sport.
Yeah. Yeah, that ankle.
Yeah.
My ankles are so bad from basketball. Just hearing that story made me cringe. Like, ugh.
Oh, I can't believe that I didn't snap it off.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah.
What's the weirdest thing you've ever had happen with a roommate?
Oh my God. Every roommate I've ever had has been the weirdest. But I think the weirdest one was, again, this woman, Susan, who I met off Craigslist, my favorite website. I lived with her for 4 years. I must have had Stockholm syndrome because it was so bad, yet it like never occurred to me to leave. She would communicate with me only in Post-it notes. So she would leave a Post-it out, like if something of mine was on one of her shelves, she would take it out and put it into the hall on the floor, like with a note on it, like being like, this was on my shelf. Or she'd be like, I ate all your Kind bars, sorry. Like she would just leave these notes out, like how many times did you run the AC this summer? And I'm like, I don't count because I'm not a psycho.
God, how did it end?
Yeah.
You just eventually left?
Oh, it ended when I was like, fine. Like my boyfriend wanted to like move in, and I got so fed up with her. I just was like, fuck it, and then I just was like, out of there. It was great. Oh, it was the best feeling in the world to like move out and be like, fuck you.
I bet she sounds
and I just like
fucking horrible.
Left a bunch of shit. Yeah, and I was like, I can't believe I lived here for 4 years. But it was rent controlled, so that's probably why.
Yeah, that makes sense. There had to be a reason.
Yeah.
So passive aggressive with the fucking notes, so that would drive me crazy.
And like would never replace the shit she ate.
Yeah, that's just. What did she do? She wasn't a comedian, was she?
She was like 65 years old.
Oh, shit.
Um, so I think she collected unemployment because she didn't really work. She would do like odd jobs. But I knew she definitely received like unemployment checks. So
Damn.
for a while, I had the sneaking suspicion that I was paying the majority of the rent because it was rent controlled and she like barely worked.
Uh-huh. You,
But we'll never know.
yeah, you probably were, but man, you've had
Yeah,
some interesting Craigslist situations.
I have.
Have you ever been arrested?
No, never.
That's great. That's a good streak to keep going. How about what's your go-to fast food order?
Oh, wow. Okay. So I really love Taco Bell. So I love their hard tacos. So like three tacos that like real like it really hits the spot. For a while I would do two and then I would just like eat whatever my boyfriend got and then he finally put his foot down and I had to just order one more taco.
Yeah, I feel your boyfriend's pain. My girlfriend loves Taco Bell, and that's the same thing.
Oh my
She's like,
God.
she just has the bag in the passenger seat, and then by the time we get home, she's like, I think I ate one of yours. I was like, yeah, I think
Ah,
I think you did. But
so sneaky.
yeah,
That's my move too.
how'd you meet your boyfriend?
Um, he used to have this comedy partner, and he would book shows. Like it was right when he first started booking shows in Westchester, and his comedy partner actually booked me to do a show. And then I remember like looking, and I was like, "Oh, he's cute," but like we didn't really talk the first time we saw each other. And then I saw him again at a roast I did, but I was still with my current boyfriend. But I definitely was like looking at him like, "Oh yeah, like I think he's gonna be next." And then and then after we were broken up, he showed up at one of my shows that I produced every month. Like he swears that he just was there to check out the comedy, but like other people have told me that he was there to like see me. So
Yeah,
I guess I'll never know.
you already know. He was
Ah,
no one goes to. We can see comedy anytime. I'm sure that's a live.
aw.
That's a good excuse, but. All right, let me give you one more question. Thank you so much for doing this. I know you're very busy.
Oh, you're welcome.
Um,
Did I ask you questions? It feels one-sided.
you can ask me one if you want, whatever you want.
All right, what's the weirdest thing you've ever done sexually?
Oh man, the weirdest thing. Wow. The weirdest thing. I don't know. I've had some weird like threesomes. Like one time.
From Craigslist?
No, no, I never ventured into Craigslist, but I grew up in Wyoming. It was crazy. The weirdest thing, I'll tell you what weirds me out still to this day is that I had a girlfriend and she loved to be slapped like when we had sex. And I was just, you're just taught to never hit a girl. And so she's like, just do it. And I was like, no, I like love you. And I'd like do it
Aw.
like soft. And then one time I got drunk enough and she's just like, just hit me like a man, you pussy. And I did it. And then it
Wow.
made her like come so hard, and then I was like, "Oh, okay, you like
Wow.
it." So that didn't. That was in the moment it was weird. Of like, I don't know. I was just like, I can't hit you. You're my girlfriend. And then once I saw how much she liked it, then I started liking it too. I was like, all right. So
Yeah, then you're like, this is my life now.
yeah, that was pretty weird. But I lived in Vegas for like 12 years, so I got into a lot of weird shit that not.
Oh, that's cool. My sister lives right outside Vegas.
Oh really? Does she get?
Yeah.
Does she have weird sex?
I don't know. Her whole relationship is weird. Like she dates like a gambler who I am just concerned about all the time. But
Yeah,
you know,
that's what I did.
not my
So
life.
she should be. I worked for a bunch of gamblers, and she probably does not want to be in that life.
He travels a lot by himself and like he's in virtually none of his social media posts. Like she's in basically none of his Instagram posts. It's just like him on a beach alone. And I'm like, this is so fucking sketchy.
Yeah, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but that is not good for her because
It's
I'm
not
sure
good. Yeah.
he's a gambler. He's got money, and if you're not posting stuff, that's a real bad
Yeah.
sign.
I don't know. I mean, it's like I either have to make it my full-time job and hire a private investigator, or I just have to be like, look, I'm here in case it falls apart. But other than that, like, I don't know what the fuck to do.
She probably knows. Honestly,
Ugh.
if you're not. I had to tell my buddy that. I was like, how come you're never in your girl's post or on any post? He's like, oh, I don't know. I was like, you're with her every day. That's weird. But
Yeah.
and we were all right, but But what about
Yeah,
you?
there shouldn't be more pictures of the dogs that you've had for a year than the person you've been dating for like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, you know what? That's a good question. I'm gonna add it to my list. And what about you? What's the weirdest thing you've ever done sexually?
That's funny because I am one of these people who weirdly likes to get hit also. So I feel your girlfriend.
It's
Um,
ex-girlfriend. I don't know if I can talk my. You know what's
oh,
funny
what?
though is that once every girl at least that I've been with is like so competitive. So then they hear that story. Sometimes one of my
Oh,
dumb friends will bring it up, and then they'll feel like they have to do it. And then I'm in the cycle again of like I can't hit you.
you're
You're
like,
my
I just want to
girlfriend.
stop hitting women.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds even worse. But like I said,
That is so funny.
they beg for it. But I don't know if that'll hold up.
I guess the weirdest thing I did was to have two threesomes back to back. Like I just scheduled them in like one day and then one was the next day. So that like was a little weird, like scheduling wise. But I just remember like that was a crazy month for me, and I was like, no, I'm just gonna.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
I'm clearly spiraling.
wait.
So
It was two dudes or you and a girl and a dude.
they were two couples, so they were like
Oh,
they were each married couples, like man and woman.
yeah, yeah. That's it. I've had the people proposition me that like after shows, but I've never done it. Like it
Yeah,
just too random. I would if it was somebody I knew. Well, I can't do it now. I
yeah,
think my girlfriend would kill me. But I've had a lot of like before I moved to LA, and because all the LA dudes are such pussies. But in my regular life, I had a lot of two dude, one girl threesomes. But
oh
but
fun.
everybody in LA was like, "That's gay." I was like, "It's not gay at all. You don't even get. I mean, you can get near each other, but you don't really."
Yeah,
But yeah, weird sexual
it's
shit.
not gay unless anybody sees it.
Yeah, well, I was like, "Yeah, you guys you're missing out on all the fun." All right, let me give
Yeah.
you one last question.
Okay.
Thank you for adding a good question to my list. I'm curious
Good.
how many people actually answer that though, but I will give you credit. How about this? What's the best concert you've ever been to?
Oh, the best concert. Um, it had to have been the last concert of my favorite band of all time, which broke up a few years ago. Their name was Pearl and the Beard, and I was like just obsessed with them. And I still am sad that they broke up. And it was in Brooklyn somewhere. I think it was maybe Rockland Music Hall. I don't remember, but I didn't know they were breaking up until they mentioned it at the show, and I was
Oh
like
shit.
sobbing.
Oh, that sucks.
And like a lot of their stuff is obviously still on like Spotify and out there and like YouTube and stuff, and they were just such an incredible mixture of like vocal talent, and there was a cello player, a drummer, a guitar player, and like I at one point I was like friends with all three of them. Like I met them, I was a fan, and then I just was like would hang out and be like, oh my god, I'm obsessed with you guys. Like,
Yeah.
I like forced myself on them. I was like just so obsessed.
Yeah, that's if I wasn't if I could trade anything for a comedian, I think a band life would be pretty sweet.
And also, like, my first concert ever, I saw Alanis Morissette with my sister. So that was cool because I think I was like maybe 14,
Hmm.
and it seemed like this cool, like, adult thing to do.
Yeah, that was in New York.
Oh, God, I think so. I think it was Madison Square Garden.
Oh yeah, that's a good way to start.
Yeah.
I tell all my friends out here, you got to get to Madison Square Garden once, but if that's where you started, that's a good start to your
Yeah, and I was
concerts.
lucky because I'm from Long Island, so we just take the train right into Penn Station, and, like, we're right there.
Yeah, it's I can't. I remember I always tell this story, but I didn't realize how cool New York was. Like when I lived in Vegas, all the gamblers I worked for were all New York guys, and they'd always talk about New York. I was like, if it's so fucking cool, go back. And then I got to New York. I was there for about 20 minutes. I was like, all right, I get it now. It's pretty much the coolest fucking place in the world.
Aw,
I learned
it's pretty
quick.
cool.
Well, all right. Well, thank you for taking the time. Enjoyed talking to you. Thanks for adding a very juicy question to my list.
Oh, yeah,
Gonna get
Britt,
some good
sure.
answers. So, all right. Well,
If you would either that or asking you, like, your penis size, but I didn't want to get too personal.
yeah, that's a boring question. That one was
Kidding.
a way better answer. All right. Well, thanks for doing it. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Brandt.
Yep. Have a good day. See ya.